Hearts Between Shadows. Episode 1. The bond. The city of London had a way of swallowing its people in shades of gray, yet it sparkled with secret pockets of warmth. Hidden bookstores tucked into alleys, cafes that smelled of roasted coffee and old wood, and the laughter of youth echoing across cobblestone streets. For Chloe, Alex, Lucas, and Marco, London was more than a backdrop. It was the canvas of their story, a city where friendship and hidden passions intertwined. High school corridors had forged them into an inseparable unit. Alex, with his dark, calculating eyes, always ready to shield those he loved. Lucas, easygoing yet fiercely loyal, the kind of friend who would cross any line for the people he cared about. Marco, charming, reckless, unpredictable, yet his heart always followed Chloe, the girl who had unwittingly captivated all three. And then there was Chloe herself, bright and fearless, a smile that could light the darkest London night, unaware of the silent battles waged in the hearts of her closest companions. They had one unspoken rule since their first year. Friendship came before everything. Love was a dangerous thing, a flame that could burn the bonds they held sacred. So each had buried their feelings, offering silent protection, small gestures that spoke louder than words. It was during the annual winter fair at Hyde Park that the first ripple of tension appeared. The crisp air was filled with the scent of roasted chestnuts and the laughter of children skating on the temporary ice rink. Chloe ran ahead, her scarf trailing behind her like a banner of joy, and all three boys followed at their own pace, each lost in thoughts they refused to share. Alex had noticed the way Chloe's eyes lit up when she spotted a street musician playing the violin. He had wanted to step in to ask if she wanted to dance, but he didn't. Lucas had felt a pang of jealousy he didn't understand. He usually loved seeing Chloe happy, but this time, the sight of someone else stealing her smile stirred something unfamiliar. Marco, always the bold one, nudged Alex with a smirk. "Go on, Alex. Ask her. What's the worst that could happen?" But Alex shook his head, the weight of their rules pressing down like a lead cloak. By the time they reached the ice rink, Chloe had grabbed the hands of a group of classmates, her laughter ringing out, and a pang of something unnameable stabbed each of the three boys. They watched her, knowing they were powerless, bound by loyalty and the invisible chains of friendship. Weeks later, life took its first dramatic turn. Marco had met someone, a girl whose charm matched his own, a whirlwind that drew him away from their tight circle. For the first time, Chloe's laughter seemed tinged with a subtle longing, and Alex felt the sharp sting of something he had hidden even from himself: possessiveness. Lucas noticed it too, but didn't speak. He had always been the observer, the one who kept peace at all costs. College arrived with promises of freedom and new beginnings. Chloe, radiant and eager, had her eyes set on a scholarship and a future in architecture. Alex, Lucas, and Marco pursued their own dreams, scattered across London's sprawling campuses, yet they met as often as possible, their bond a fragile thread holding them together. It was during Chloe's first year at university that the stakes shifted dramatically. She had met someone new, Jonathan, a young man with a smile that seemed to eclipse the winter sun. Alex felt it immediately, a tension in his chest that left him restless and irritable. It was jealousy, raw and unpolished, and he hated himself for feeling it. He watched from afar as Jonathan held Chloe's hand for the first time, the gesture innocent yet devastating. One rainy evening, as Alex walked alone along the Thames, the city lights reflecting on the water, he made a decision. He couldn't watch her drift away, not if it meant losing her entirely. But he couldn't act rashly, not without Lucas and Marco. They were more than friends. They were his conscience, his counsel of sanity. The three of them met in their favorite cafe, the rain tapping against the windows like impatient fingers. "She's different with him," Alex admitted, voice low, almost a whisper. I can't just watch." Lucas, sipping his coffee, frowned. "You mean you want to fight for her?" His tone wasn't judgmental, but there was caution in his eyes. "We agreed, we protect her. That was the rule." Marco leaned back, a smirk tugging at his lips, but it didn't reach his lips. Rules are great until someone you love is about to slip away. He paused, staring at Alex. But what if she doesn't feel the same anymore? Alex's jaw tightened. Then we'll figure it out. But we can't do nothing. The days that followed were filled with calculated moves. Alex tried subtle gestures, checking on Chloe's projects, offering support, sharing laughter, lingering just a moment too long. But every time he looked into her eyes, he found warmth, but not the warmth he hoped for. She was changing, growing into her own world, and the boy who had been her shadow, protector, and confidant now faced the unbearable truth. Time was slipping through his fingers. It was on a damp Thursday evening, after a long day at the university library, that everything came to a head. Chloe had invited all 4 friends for dinner, a reunion of old ties. The laughter flowed, stories tumbled out, yet underneath it all was a tension unspoken. Alex watched her laugh at Jonathan's joke over the phone, the glow of the screen reflecting in her eyes. And then, without warning, she said something that froze him. "I've changed," she murmured almost to herself. "I think I see things differently now. I'm not the same girl you all knew in high school." Silence fell. Alex's stomach dropped. Marco shifted uncomfortably. Lucas clenched his fists under the table. Chloe continued, her voice barely above a whisper. "And I don't think I like the same people I used to." The air thickened, and Alex felt the ground shift beneath him. The rule that had governed their hearts for so long, the pact of friendship over love, was no longer enough. Something had awakened, something dangerous and thrilling, and he didn't know if he could control it. As the night drew on, the rain outside pounding against the windows, Alex stepped out for air. The city stretched before him in a maze of lights and shadows. He could hear laughter from inside, but it felt distant, like another life. He pulled out his phone, fingers trembling. He sent a message to Marco and Lucas. 3 words that carried the weight of every unspoken feeling they had all harbored. "I need help." And as he watched the lights of London blur in the rain, he knew that the game had begun, but the rules had changed. The wind carried a chill, sharp and insistent. Somewhere down the street, a car passed, splashing water onto the wet pavement, and Alex shivered, not from the cold, but from the unknown path that lay ahead. He had no plan, no certainty, only a single burning desire: to win her heart before it was too late. And then, as if the city itself were conspiring, his phone buzzed. A single message from Chloe arriving out of nowhere. "Can we talk? It's important." Alex froze. His heart raced. The street seemed darker, quieter, every shadow a potential threat or promise. He didn't know if this was his chance, or the beginning of something he could never undo. End of episode 1. Chloe wants to talk. Alex doesn't know if she will confess, reject, or reveal a secret that could destroy everything. He steps into the rainy night, heart pounding as London's lights blur into uncertainty.